but instead turn it over to Seena Berg, who is our Senior Assistant Director for Graduate Enrollment Services, and Leydi Imam, who is the Assistant Director of Graduate Enrollment Services. And they'll have things to share with you about like the nitty-gritty of the application process. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us, Emily. Leydi, did you want to get us started?
I apologize, I didn't unmute myself.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. My name is Leydi Imam. I'm the Senior Assistant Director of the Graduate School of Arts and Science and Enrollment Services. And I'm going to be speaking to you with my colleague, Seena. We're going to be covering the application requirements and discuss funding. We are also going to share a few useful links in the chat during the presentation. So please also keep your eye on it. Okay, so we're going to start with the application requirements. First, we're going to start with the letters of recommendation. You need 3 letters of recommendation. Typically, PhD applicants are highly encouraged to ask faculty who you know and they know your academic abilities. If you need to ask supervisors or colleagues to write a letter, it's recommended that you have worked with them in research or fieldwork, okay? And one of the main things I ask all my students is to please ask early so they have enough time to write a wonderful letter for you. And also follow up with them to make sure that they have submitted and for you to revise everything and that everything's there. And at the end, thank them because they took time out of their busy schedule to write this letter for you. The next one is a statement of academic purpose. This is consciously described past or present work in relationship and field study, educational objectives, career goals, and why the Graduate School of Arts and Science at NYU is the best fit for you. The statement should not exceed double space page in double page 2 pages, okay? Various programs have specific requirements. For example, in the case study and video statement for programming skills preparation for the PhD in social psych, okay? Our next one will be like transcripts. Your transcripts must include 1 academic transcript, mark sheet or final grade sheet. And they need to be in English. So if it's not in English, please get it translated from each institution that you attended, okay? The baccalaureate or equivalent transcript should indicate conferral of your undergraduate degree. If you're currently completing your baccalaureate, you should upload the transcript showing your academic recording through the most current term of study, okay? You should upload your transcript in the application. If you have a hard copy, please scan it. You should not mail copies. If you're offering admissions, you will be required to provide an official transcript, okay? The next one is test scores. So for those of you who were worried about the GREs, I have good news for you. The GRE scores are not reviewed by the admissions committee, so you do not need to submit them. Applications, however, applicants must submit the TOEFL or IELTS scores. However, unless you are a native English speaker or a U.S. permanent resident, or you have completed or will complete a baccalaureate or master's degree at an institution where your language is instructed by English, then you don't have to submit those scores, okay? A CV is also required. You need to upload a CV in your application. In this topic, later in today's presentation, you will hear tips in preparing a strong CV, okay? And of course, the most important thing, the deadline. The deadline is December 1st for fall 2024 admissions, okay? We also encourage you to visit our application resource center to get more information and tips in the application requirements. You will see the link in our chat. Okay, the next is our fee waivers. For those of you who are interested in our fee waivers, the graduate school offers a limited number of application fee waivers to applicants who are U.S. citizens and permanent residents, okay? You also have to have a minimum GPA of 3.0 of undergraduate and meet one of the following criteria, okay? So you need to either either you are a Pell Grant recipient or you receive a GRE fee reduction, or your application in one of the groups we listed in our website, such as the McNair Scholarship Program, the Peace Corps, or the CUNY Pipeline Program. Okay, you will also see the link in our chat for further listings, because there's other participants that to see if you are in one of them, to see if you could get a fee waiver. Okay, to request a fee waiver, please email us at gsas.admissions@nyu.edu. Okay, at least 10 days in advance of your application deadline and before you submit your application. In that email, you should outline how you meet each of the criteria that I just mentioned above. Now we're gonna go with my colleague Seena Berg, and she's gonna talk to you about funding. Hi, Seena.
Thank you, Leydi. Thank you, Emily, for having us here today. It's such a pleasure to be a part of this event. As Leydi said, my name is Seena Berg, and I am also one of the Senior Assistant Directors in Graduate Enrollment Services. I'm going to get started the conversation about fellowships and funding with the McCracken Award for PhD students. So this award provides multi-year full funding support. The minimum McCracken package includes a 4 or 5 year award, and I believe it's typically 5 years in the psychology department. The scholarship covers full tuition and fees for the course of the program, health insurance coverage for the period of the award, a 9-month academic year stipend. And to give you a sense of what that looks like for the current academic year, 23-24, the base stipend amount is $32,880 per year. And the stipend typically goes up about 3 to 4% per year. The McCracken Award also includes a one-time Dean Startup Stipend of $1,000 right when you begin your first year, just for those incidental expenses. And students who receive funding from an external agency such as the NSF or NIH are also awarded the McCracken if necessary to ensure that they receive a full funding award package that is at least equivalent to the McCracken package. Often students get the opportunity to teach as an adjunct instructor or to be a teaching or course assistant during their program, and the compensation for this work is in addition to the McCracken fellowship package. So I'm going to switch gears and talk about the Dean's Doctoral Fellowship, which is an enhancement to the McCracken Award. The Dean's Fellowship provides full funding support consisting of a 12-month stipend that is an additional $10,000 per year over the McCracken Stipend Award. It also comes with full tuition and fees, as the McCracken does, and comprehensive health insurance coverage. And the one-time startup stipend is $3,000 instead of $1,000. There's also a guaranteed spot in the McCracken housing program. So that's our on-campus housing program for graduate students. And that's for the first year of study if students apply for that. And there is an annual housing subsidy that starts in the second year. So that's for years 2 through 5. The graduate school will be awarding 20 to 30 Dean's Fellowships for fall 24 admissions. And these awards will be announced between March 1st and April 1st, which is after students have been admitted. So students receive this award, students who will be receiving this award are notified after they get their first admissions offer. To be eligible for the Dean's Fellowship, an applicant must be a US citizen or permanent resident. And in order to be considered for the fellowship, you need to do 2 things. Indicate you would like to be considered in your application. There's a question that asks basically, do you want to be considered for this award, and provides a little bit more information. And you just have to make sure to click the yes box. And then it prompts you, it lets you know that you'll need to submit a personal history statement. So I want to talk about how to approach the personal history statement. This is an optional essay, except in the case of wanting to be considered for the Dean's Doctoral Fellowship, it's a requirement. But anyone can submit it to provide additional insights on their background and experience. And the purpose of the personal history statement is to get to know you as an individual and as a potential graduate student. And with this statement, you can speak to any aspects of your lived experiences and attributes which motivate you to pursue a graduate degree and how these will enrich the graduate school's learning environment. You may consider any of the following questions. So these are kind of the prompts that you will see within the application. Have you worked in public service, community service, or other outreach services that has impacted your decision to pursue graduate education? Or do you plan to conduct research or work in areas that will explore or expand upon understudied or underdeveloped areas of academia, or serve underprivileged or underrepresented populations? And how will your planned studies or how will your planned studies broaden ways to promote equity and inclusion or positively impact the NYU community? So these are some suggestions of how you might approach this essay. So that's the application for the Dean's Fellowship. Again, say you want to be considered if you're eligible, and then submit this essay. And I want to say that the graduate school encourages applicants whose previous and future academic research experience will contribute to our goals of equity, inclusion, and academic excellence. The graduate school is dedicated to ensuring that its scholarly community is enriched by individuals who, throughout their various lived experiences, contribute to an intellectually challenging and inclusive educational environment. Our priorities are to maximize opportunities for those with limited financial, educational, or social resources and first-generation students, and to provide all students the opportunity to learn in and from an environment that reflects the world around us. To that end, the graduate school encourages applications from individuals whose academic research experience and plans will contribute to equity and inclusion, as well as academic excellence at the graduate school. So this concludes our brief overview of admissions process, admissions requirements, and PhD funding opportunities. We encourage you to reach out to our office at any time with questions about application, the application process or funding. We're here to help you navigate the application process, and we are available by email. You can find our contact information on this slide. Phone, stop by. We're actually located right behind the arch in the photo there, right on Fifth Avenue. We welcome walk-ins every day, Monday through Friday. And we'll love to have the chance to meet with you. We also schedule Zoom appointments, so you can send an email to that address, and we'll set something up. But we do have a few moments. I know you have a packed program, Emily, but if it would be helpful for us to take questions, we would be happy to try to address those.
Sure. We've been addressing them in the chat as they go along. A few that I haven't been able to address. There's a student who's graduating from India, and the language of instruction has been English. Is a test proof of the English competency or similar required in that case?
Yeah, it's not. If the language of instruction of a completed or will be completed bachelor's or master's degree is English, the TOEFL or IELTS is waived, and we just need to make sure either the transcript or some other official document from the university states that the language of instruction was English.
Okay. And then there was a question about are there fee waivers available? Who qualifies for a fee waiver and international student status? If you could speak to that.
Yes, unfortunately, the fee waiver is for U.S. citizens or permanent residents only.
Okay. So the fee waiver is not available, but the funding options, the McCracken package and the Dean's Fellowship, are there restrictions on that?
The McCracken package is the same for international students and domestic students. The Dean's Fellowship is for U.S. citizens and permanent residents. But yes, everyone who's admitted into one of our PhD programs receives at least the base McCracken package that's offered through their program, consistent with the other students.
Wonderful.